The biggest tip that I have for you to keep yourself from procrastinating, I'm going to tell you at the end of this video, so you got to watch to see it. That's how I'm rolling today. Procrastinating on my tip. Waiting till the end. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk to you all about procrastinating. Now, don't get me wrong, I have been a huge victim to this in the past. I am not immune to procrastinating on things that need to get done sooner, and I just wake up in the morning and I just don't feel like doing them, and so I push them off and they eventually get done or they never get done, and then I wish I had not procrastinated. And anyway, I just felt like I needed to do a video on this today because if not today, then when? I mean, we're all trying to move ahead in our music careers, right? So let's get the ball rolling with some ideas on how you can stop procrastinating and move the needle forward on your career so that you can achieve all the things that you hope to achieve one day. Okay, before we start this video today, if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button to my channel. I would appreciate it so much. I do videos every single week on helping you guys out with your music careers. I give advice on moving to Nashville and all kinds of other things, and I would love it if you would come back for every video and subscribe to that channel. And if you want to know exactly when I upload a video, hit that little notification bell and it will notify you every time a new video is published. With all that said, let's get into the video. Okay, procrastination. It's a word that I hate because I do it sometimes. And it's probably hard to believe that somebody who works in the music business, has a career that they get up and do every single day, can actually have the ability to procrastinate. And sometimes I just don't even know how I do it. The best way that you can begin to start combating procrastination is to just start by setting your alarm in the morning. I mean, think about it. We get lazy if we set our alarm and it goes off and we hit snooze a couple times and we're all snuggled up in our bed and we're lazy and we feel like, oh, just 5 more minutes. I can stay here for 5 more minutes. I can stay here for 10 more minutes. And before you know it, an hour is gone. If you take a step back for a second and think about the things that you could have accomplished in that hour, whether it be emails pitching yourself, whether it be getting an EPK together, writing a song. There are so many things that we can do in the hours that we are given. I once read a quote, and I'm pretty sure it was on social media, that said, you have the same amount of hours in your day as Beyonce. Think about that. That girl is achieving some pretty big things. And if I have the same amount of hours in my day that Beyonce has, I can be achieving those things too. Maybe not, but you know what I mean. So if you have that amount of hours in your day, why aren't you doing the things that make you happiest by pushing your career forward so you have more things to look forward to? It's really simple. We can't set our alarms early and get up and be productive if we haven't had a good night's sleep the night before. So if you know that the next day you want to be super productive and you want to get a million things done, go to bed a little bit early. Go to bed, set your alarm with the intent that you are going to get up the next morning and do all the things that you have been putting off, because there's no better feeling than getting a good night's sleep and knowing the next day you are going to set out to achieve great things. Okay, the next thing you can do is actually treat your music career like a job. And that probably sounds weird because half of you are going to say, oh, I do treat it like a job. It is my job. It's my passion. It's the thing that I do every single day. And the other half of you are probably going to say, treat it like a job. I'm doing music, so it doesn't have to be a job. Well, I know a lot of people who have music as their job. And when you love a job that much, it doesn't even feel like it. So if you know that you are going to get up at 7 a.m. and you are going to work for 4 hours, you're going to take a break for lunch, you're going to come back, you're going to work for another 2 or 3 hours, you're going to turn your laptop off or whatever it may be and have dinner, the more you start actually conditioning yourself to work the music business like it is a 9-to-5 job, number one, you're going to get into a routine. If you get into a routine where you get up in the morning, you answer some emails, you send some pitches, you book a writing session, you update your social media, all those things are going to actually make it feel like a job, but in a really awesome way, right? So if you just have a schedule in your mind every single day, whether you have a full-time job or not, you can look at your music career as either a part-time job, like every single day when I get out of work at 5, I am going to work from 5:30 to 8:30 on my career. And then that becomes your routine. You treat that like a second job. And the thing is, the more you treat it that way and the bigger routine that you get into, the more productive you're going to be. And you won't even have a chance to procrastinate because you're going to know every day at this time I work on my music business. So that's going to push things ahead. It's not going to allow you to put things off until tomorrow, and it's going to make you achieve more things and feel so much better about the direction that you are heading in. Okay, the next piece to go along with that is to plan ahead. So when you are getting in from work, you're doing all the things that you have to do for your family and whatever it is that you do to take care of yourself, just make sure you're planning ahead. So if you think, okay, it's coming up on outdoor festival season or outdoor venue season, I know that I need to send 10 emails pitching myself and my band out for these opportunities. You know that within the next 4 or 5 days, you are going to be sending those emails. So if you plan ahead and you write yourself a to-do list, the next day when you wake up and you get that ball rolling and you're ready to go with your day, you're not going to have to sit there and go, okay, what do I have to do today? That is a huge, huge way that you are going to start procrastinating, because you're going to go, I can't really think of anything that I need to do today. But if you've planned ahead and planned out your day the day before, that is going to give you the foundation to just start doing it. You're going to go, okay, yes, I have to do this. Then the next day I have to follow up on the thing I did yesterday. It's all just a process of doing these things, planning ahead, getting up, treating it like a job. All those things are going to keep you moving and in the right direction. Okay, so to go along with all this, you've gotten up early in the morning, you're treating it like a job. One of the things I definitely advise is to take a break. I burn out super easy if I have been on my computer all day, and working in social media and marketing and graphic design and all that, I am glued to my computer screen most hours of the day. And if it's not my computer screen, it's my phone. So the best thing that I have found to keep my productivity level up is to actually take a break during the day, whether it be to just go get a coffee and drive around. I like to actually go get a coffee versus making a coffee because it gets me out of the house for a few minutes. It gets my mind kind of refreshed, a little bit of fresh air. Most days I will go and try to take a walk if it's nice weather, or I'll just leave behind all of the digital stuff that's going into my brain so that I can give myself a little reboost. Without that, you're going to burn out, and that's when you're going to start procrastinating, saying, you know what, I can't do this anymore today. I'm going to wait and do it tomorrow. And chances are it will probably never get done. So the best thing you can do is take a little break, give yourself a little refresher, and then come back with a fresh mind and pick up where you left off. One of the best things that I have learned through the process of working in the music business and doing all the things that you guys are probably starting to do right now is to actually make a list of my goals. A lot of people say to me, what do you do to keep yourself motivated? What do you do to continue going after the things that you want? And one thing that has remained consistent since I was a super young girl, when I was probably in middle school, I started doing this, and that is making a list of all the things that I want to accomplish. Now, these can be daily tasks. They can be things like, I want to email this person, or I need to catch up with this person, or I need to go get a coffee with this person. So it's a list of things that are immediate to-dos, but then there's also the big goals. Like, I would love to achieve this over the next year. This is how much money I'm hoping to be making by this time next year. The reason I suggest doing this is because if you have a consistent list of goals that is visible to you, whether you put it on your wall or on a whiteboard, or you have it in the first page of your journal, someplace that you're going to see it pretty consistently, you are going to stay motivated, because there's nothing more motivating than seeing the things that you want to do and reminding yourself of those things every day. We all get caught up in life and we get caught up in the busyness of doing things, but a reminder in front of us is going to be so helpful. It's going to keep us wanting to get up the next morning to work on those things, because you can start visualizing yourself achieving them. It's like, I want to make X amount of money by this time next year so I can go on the trip of my dreams, and I can, open for this artist to make this amount of money and start selling my CD, or whatever it may be that you are hoping for your career. There's nothing better than visualizing that, seeing yourself in those situations and moving forward inch by inch until you are able to achieve it. And then another cool thing is when a year does go by and you look back on those goals and you realize, wow, I knocked half of these off my list already. It's a really good feeling and a good way to help us stop procrastinating year after year, because you realize this actually does work and you can actually get the things that you want. You just have to have a good, concise list of them, visualize them every day, and keep them fresh in your mind so that when an opportunity does come up, you say, wow, that would help me achieve this in the future, so I'm going to do this today. To go along with the whole inspiration thing, one of the best things you can do is become inspired by other people. Every day I try to find something that inspires me, whether it be watching a YouTube video or listening to a podcast or reading a book or talking to somebody who is a mentor or somebody who just really inspires me. I think it is so important to our own motivation that we actually find other people doing the things that we can see ourselves doing. Because when you think about it, when you think that person is doing the thing I really wish I could do, number one, if that person is doing it, you can also do that thing, right? Because it's been done. So it's been proven that that thing is attainable. You can attain that thing as well. That's going to motivate you. It's going to stop you wanting to procrastinate because you're going to be so fired up by the person that you are listening to or looking at or watching or whatever, that you are going to want to just do the things to make you achieve those same things. I love to do this by watching YouTube videos, like I said, and listening to podcasts. I've been listening to an awesome podcast lately called Just Try This with Amy Landino and Brian Fanzo. If you haven't listened to this podcast, I highly recommend it because it's all kinds of tips on things that you can do in your own life and career in your own hands without the help of anybody else to move things forward for you, whether it be social media or video or any little tips and ideas that they come up with. They share their experiences and how it can actually help you move forward in your career, especially if you're in the music business. Even though it's not a music business podcast, the tips and tricks that they teach you in this podcast, you can apply directly to what you are doing right now. I do it every day. Every time I listen to their podcast, I learn something. So that's enough about that. But I just wanted to give you an example of a way that you can become inspired by other people, and that's going to help you to stop procrastinating. Also, if you're having a day where you're like, I just can't do this today, listen to a podcast or watch a YouTube video to inspire you so that the next morning when you get up, you are ready to go. Now, I know with all of these things and all the stuff that we talk about on this channel, it's easy to get overwhelmed. I get that. And there's nothing worse than getting overwhelmed, because that is going to make you want to procrastinate. When you feel like your plate is full of 1,000 things that you have to accomplish, it's so easy to say, you know what, I'm not going to tackle any of this today. I am just going to put it off and I'll get to it when I can. But if you don't get overwhelmed and you try to look at things individually and you say, okay, I can do these 5 things today. These are easy things. I can do that. If you do that every few days, you will realize that your plate is starting to get empty, because yes, you didn't tackle it all in one day. No one can do that. But you took a little bit off every day, and then all of a sudden things are moving, your plate is getting cleared off, and you start to feel that sense of relief and you're not as overwhelmed anymore. But if you're procrastinating and putting things off constantly, it's just going to pile up and pile up and pile up to the point where you go, you know what? I can't do this. I'm completely overwhelmed. Forget it. And then what? Then what are you going to do? So just try really hard not to get overwhelmed. Little by little, take things off your plate. You can do this. I know you can. Okay, the last thing I want to say in this long rant about procrastinating and why you shouldn't be procrastinating is the best form of getting yourself to stop procrastinating is to know that if you don't do the thing that you want to do, whether it be to send an email or to pitch yourself or to go to a writing session or to go record a song or start putting an album together or whatever it may be, if you aren't doing it, there are other people who are. So when you look at it like that and you realize every single day that you put things off and procrastinate, A bunch of other people didn't do that day. A bunch of other people got up early and did the things that they wanted to do to move their career forward. And guess what? At the end of the day, they're going to be ahead of you. So in order to keep yourself one step ahead of the game, which is a huge part in having a career in the music business, especially if you're an independent artist, you just have to keep going and realize if everybody else is doing it, number one, you can do it too. And number two, they're going to move ahead of you if you aren't doing it. So remind yourself of that. Try all the things we talked about in the video today. And I really do think that at the end of the day, just trying to keep yourself inspired and motivated is going to help you keep from procrastinating. So don't be hard on yourself. If you do have a day where you're like, I can't do this today, give yourself a break. That's fine. Just don't let it become a habit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section below how you combat procrastinating, because God knows I have my days too. And I would love to know what kinds of things you're doing to help yourself. Share them with me, share them with everybody else, and I will see you guys in the next video.